start na tayo sa ating class. So I hope, let's see, hopefully we can finish in an hour maybe. Sige. Okay. So tonight we'll talk about cross-class signal or social class signals, especially during cross-class encounters. Okay. So much of the discussion this evening will focus on some questions that I raised for your activity, this week. I hope you were able to watch kahit na at least a short clip of Aunt Julie, and also some of the questions you raised in the reading memo. Okay? So, ito yung outline natin. Ito rin yung goals natin for this week. No? To be able to talk about the different types of markers or social class signals. And then, a little... So, ang goal natin tonight ay himayin natin, no? At tignan natin yung utility, no? At saka yung validity of the theoretical model posed by Krauss et al. No? Pagdating sa how social class signals shape negative cross-class outcomes. And then let's just see what are the potential applications of the model in relation to interpersonal outcomes. Kasi yun yung major argument nila na everyday social class inequality is experienced in these interactions. No? Pero mas dinistill nila na yung nararanasan mo siya through social class signaling. Okay, so ang big question talaga natin for this week ay, what happens when people from different social class backgrounds meet or interact? Okay? So hopefully habang binabasa natin yung article, yung isa sa mga naisip natin ay, is it really that bad? No? When two people from different social class backgrounds meet, does it always lead to negative outcomes? No? If yes, ano yung proposal nila? Ba't nagkakaganon? If no, kaya pa rin bang makapture ng model nila yung non-negative outcomes? Okay, so yung una kong tanong sa inyo, and anyone just feel free to answer, no? Just unmute yourselves. Where do people from different social classes usually converge? Sa tingin nyo, saan ba yan nangyayari? Sa nagaganap yung cross-class encounters. Can you give me examples? So sabi ni Mika, sa simbahan, pwede yan. Saan pa kaya? Sa school, sure.
Schools po.
Sa schools, yes. Sobrang classic yan. Sa a lot of leisure places. So kahit sa conventions, pwede. Anything else you'd like to add? Sorry? Sa workplace, yes. Very crucial. Anything else? Sige, so actually medyo na-hit na natin yung usual area. So grocery or market. Yeah. So I wonder if there's a way for us to kind of, categorize these places. So these categories might be helpful. So meron silang tinatawag na mas formally structured social contexts. No? O ito yung tinatawag nila Stephens na gateway contexts. Okay? So these are contexts that mediate access to valued life outcomes. Ano ibig sabihin? Itong mga context na to, kapag nag-meet yung mga tao dyan, usually, meron kang mga nakukuha or meron kang mga na-access na very, very important resources. Okay? Or usually, gumaganda yung buhay mo kapag nandyan ka sa mga institutions na yan. Okay? Sa mga gateway contexts na yan. Pero kadalasan din, na-observe nila Stephens, kaya a lot of their interventions are in these contexts. Diyan din, very palpable or very apparent yung inequality. Mas nakikita mo siya dyan na nagmamanifest. So yung binanggit ninyo like schools, workplaces, at yung binanggit nga nila dun sa study na binasa natin nila Stephens, even health institutions, dyan mo yan nakikita. So, importante sa kanila itong mga lugar na to at importante sa kanila. Kaya dito sa mga contexts na to, isa sa mga madalas nilang aralin, ano yung rules? Ano yung social class rules that dominate And how do these rules usually disenfranchise or disadvantage, the lower class? Okay? Tapos syempre, meron ding mas informal contexts, no, that usually occur outside organizations or formal institutions, no, and where people organize as they see fit, no. So yung mga binanggit ninyong mga leisure areas, binanggit ninyong what do you call this? Yung sa grocery, no. Usually dito rin nila pinapasok yung areas of residence, no? A lot of commercial areas, etc., etc. Okay? So it might be good to differentiate where cross-class encounters occur. Kasi ang argument dito, baka mas madali to create or design interventions in more formal contexts, in gateway contexts, than yung mas informal. Kasi nga, hindi mo ma-capture. Tapos usually, pag informal, mas fleeting, no, yung mga interactions. Except for areas of residence. Any questions about this? Meron so idagdag about these areas? Okay. So siguro yung isang pwedeng insight natin dito ay cross-class encounters occur frequently. Madalas siyang maaari kasi sa maraming importanteng domains ng buhay natin, nangyayari siya. Okay. So yung second question ko sa inyo ay, are the outcomes of cross-class encounters negative? What do you think? If so, why? Ano sa tingin niyo? Are they negative? Yung mga cross-class encounters? What are your thoughts about this?
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Sorry,
Enemy po. Enemy. Opo. I think it depends. Because, for example, in the places that we mentioned, kung school, kung workplace, baka nga there may be negative encounters. But dun sa mga informal structures, yung mga fleeting encounters, for example, in the grocery store where it's a transactional experience, I pay for this, you put it in the bag. Parang that's not actually a positive nor a negative, but a transactional experience. So baka it depends on the actual encounter.
Okay. So what I'm getting there is
I would like
neutral siya, no? May mga times na neutral lang naman siya. Sige. Okay. Zili, sorry.
you with regards po with Ma'am Anime, iniisip ko rin kasi, for example, in formal structures like supermarkets, there might be negative encounters there. For example, tinitignan nila kung anong binibili mo and they have the tendency to prejudge you on the basis of what you buy, for example, or on the basis of how you act in these places, informal. Pero hindi siya mas kita, siguro. Mas internal, siguro siya. Yun po.
Okay. So parang what I'm getting at dun sa sinabi ni Vili ay baka yung consequences mas insidious, mas hindi siya madaling makita, no? Kagaya na kasi pag discrimination yung naisip mong outcome, yun medyo mas madaling makita, no? Pero yung reactions like I will look for the right word that they usually use, no, sa social class, prejudice. Pero yung kunwari yung fleeting reactions, kunwari nasa jeep ka, tapos biglang may sumakay doon na, hindi ko alam kung nanasan yun, pag sumakay ka, tapos biglang merong manlilimos ng something, may dala silang box, or meron silang dalang envelope, no, na manghihingi sila ng mga contributions, or ng abulay, or whatever, no, yung parang reactions mo na hindi siguro mabilis makatch, no, baka pwedeng masabi natin na it can actually be a manifestation of something negative.
Hello?
Yes, sir. That's exactly it.
Okay. Sige, thank you. Adi?
Yes po, sir. Sa akin naman po kasi parang naisip ko, depende sa kung gaano lulutang yung inequality. How much lulutang yung inequality. Kasi interestingly, yung sa akin, baliktad yung setting dun sa examples ni Anna May. Kasi naisip ko po parang kunyari dun sa mga formal structures like schools or sa church, parang since standardized yung mga interactions, kunyari sa school, nasa klase, hindi naman masyadong lalabas yung social class inequality, kunyari sa discussions, unless specific instances or kunyari kung bayaran ng field trip, ganyan. Siguro dun lalabas yung mga negative outcomes nung cross-class encounters. Pero kung kunyari mga standard classes, ganun, standard discussions, o kunyari sa church, standard naman yung misa, so hindi naman masyadong lalabas yung inequality unless labasan na ng donations. So parang less po siguro yung negative outcome kung less din yung pag-surface nung differences due to inequality. Yun po yung naisip ko. Kasi parang sa informal settings, kunyari sa mga market, ayun, lalabas yung element of purchasing power, mga ganyan. So, mas magkakaroon siguro ng negative outcomes. Yun po.
Okay, so I think what Adi is hinting at so when something is surfaced, no, or something is revealed, which is the focus actually of the Krauss et al. Article, no? So we can get to that shortly unless meron pa kayong gusto idagdag. Sorry, banggitin ko lang, yung term na ginagamit nila dun sa prejudicial or discriminatory behaviors natin ay distancing. No? So usually directed towards the poor. No? So there's some distancing going on there. But I guess it can also happen pag upward yung interaction, meaning interacting with the rich, baka may certain distancing there. Anything else you'd like to add? So do they lead to negative outcomes? So parang yung, sorry. Yes? Anything you'd like to add? Okay.
Sir, yes. Most of the time, or maybe it's the most available in my mind right now, most of the time they actually lead to negative outcomes. I have to somewhat, I saw naman sinabi ni Miss Abby kanina na example how it led to that. But I think the pervasiveness of the negative encounters in this formal, for example, gateway places, is the fact na mas matagal kasi yung interaction nila doon compared sa mga fleeting moments. So meron pa rin. At feeling ko mas kwan din siya. Mas emphasize on that. On that places.
Yeah, that's actually a very important point. Kaya rin nila inaaral yung sa gateway contexts dahil systemic yung yung negative outcomes or yung pag-perpetuate at saka pag-maintain ng mga negative outcomes kasi usually structural siya. Kaya yeah, I would agree that yung ganitong gateway context mas lantad yung outcomes dahil mas matagal din tayo doon nagsistay. Okay, sige. So let's assume that indeed negative outcomes occur during cross-class encounters. So I guess simple lang naman yung idea ng cross-class encounter, diba? So different social individuals from different social class backgrounds meet or interact. No? So let's try to make sense of the model that they presented. Is there anyone who'd like to try to kind of explain what is going on in this diagram? So kung para kina Krauss, how does social class status lead to negative outcomes? Can somebody try to tell us what's going on here? Base dun sa pinag-usapan, base dun sa mga examples that you gave, no?
I can try.
Sige, please.
Okay, so very brief lang po siguro. So, sense of social class, for example, because the tendency here is you compare yourself towards someone or others. The tendency is you create an image of yourself and an image of them. So that image of yourself or an image of them, basis to is your body or kinesthetic behavior, your voice modulation, how you speak, and of course yung culture mo, yung choices mo. part yun lahat of how you see yourself and how you compare yourself to others. And how you see yourself and compare yourself to others leads to group boundaries because there's a tendency for you to choose an in-group. So makikita mo yung sarili mo joining this and makikita mo, madidefine mo yung sarili mo as part of this, kumbaga. And that in-group creates boundaries, group boundaries. And kapag may nakita ka ng ibang social class, for example, compared to you, start to sort or you start to stereotype and yan. And it leads to economic inequality maintenance because the sorting, stereotyping, and class conflict will lead to how you rationalize the behavior of the other and attribute it to either this dehumanization, strategic sharing, and justifying ideology. Yun po.
Sige, thank you so much for that. Okay, yung isang importante na nabanggit dito, nagsisimula siya doon sa social class comparison. So it does make sense that when you interact with someone, there is some comparison going on. And why is that important psychologically? We are able to locate ourselves in the world in general, specifically locate ourselves in the social class ladder after we have compared ourselves to others. So yung interaction, fraught siya with information. Maraming cues, maraming information na nabibigay sa atin yung mga social class information natin, social class interactions natin. So pag nag-interact tayo sa iba, isang information doon ay yung social class signals or yung mga markers nila. So pag nangyari yun, it makes it easier for us to say, okay, we're different or we're the same. Okay? So once these social class signals are revealed and then consequently perceived, yung class-based signals na to, they organize cross-class encounters. Isa yan sa sinasabi yan. So either mas dadalas yung interaction sa isa't isa or mas mababawasan yung interaction natin sa isa't isa. We can also say that these class-based signals trigger stereotypes. We'll delve more about the topic of stereotypes in next meeting's reading. Kasi doon natin makikita na parang almost automatic ang bilis noong, at least yung kanilang hypothesis, ang bilis ng nagiging reaction natin, ng judgment natin sa ibang tao, no? Kapag na-cue na kung ano yung social status niya. And then finally, yung class-based signals na nga na to can increase perceptions of an equal allocation of resources. No, ito yung feeling ko medyo mas complex na nagiging outcome noong perceiving one social class. Yung idea that there's some inequality going on, no? That other people seem to have more kahit na they don't necessarily deserve it. No? So that is a little bit, I think, more complex than yung sorting or yung stereotyping na nangyayari. Okay? So based on these things, so balikan natin yung nabanggit ni Anna May kanina. No? Sorry. Bago pala tayo pumunta doon. And just so it becomes clearer, nabanggit naman to nila Krauss sa article nila. So ito yung mga crucial nilang hypothesis, no? That the signals, they occur frequently, rapidly, and are accurately perceived. Okay? And then it leads to the augmentation of the group boundaries. Mas nag-i-increase yung boundaries ng haves and have-nots. No? And then as a consequence, they then elicit yung particular behaviors that justify and maintain the current economic system. So, parang in words, yan yung sinasabi nung kanilang diagram. Okay? So, kagaya na binabanggit ko kanina, kung babalikan natin yung binabanggit ni Anna May, so kunwari kung neutral yung interaction or relatively positive no, yung outcome during a cross-class encounter, kaya pa rin ba siyang makover ng model? So kung ito yung arguments nila, can these arguments still be used to explain positive interaction? So siguro let's think about concrete examples. Is there an example that you can think of na hindi lang basta neutral, pero positive siya? Or kahit yung neutral example na binanggit kanina ni Anime sa mas transactional na relationships. No? Kunwari, so let's assume na mas mataas yung social class status natin compared to a Grab driver, no? Or a Lazada delivery person. No? So, kapag ganun yung encounter, is that neutral? Is that positive? No? I don't know if you've ever tried to have something delivered to your place of, to your house or your place of work. Pero yung mga ganong interactions, counted ba yun across class? And second, anong type of outcome yun? Neutral? Positive? At kung sakali na hindi siya negative, can the model still account for that kind of interaction? What do you think? So isa-isahin natin yung argument, tapos tignan natin if it will hold. So in that instance, you think there was some revelation or indication of social class differences? And then, was that perceived? What do you think?
Sir, Fatima po.
Okay, hi Fatima. Thanks.
During that, kasi sir, na-experience ko na makatanggap ng delivery from Lazada, from Grab, ganyan. Pero never ko na encounter yung social comparison sa perspective ko.
Okay. Yeah. So, ibig sabihin, posible ba na there are instances that maybe social class status is signaled, it could have also been automatically perceived, pero pwede naman na it was not important in that situation? Or may ibang information na nag-override yung social class signaling?
Sir, right?
Yeah, okay.
Sorry. It's not necessarily Grab driver, but we interact kasi on a day-to-day basis. Back when I had work with our kuya, so it can be security guards or yung usual naming EGC na tinatawag or janitors. I think on my level, it was clear that there's a difference in social class. Kasi work siya eh. Magkaiba yung level ng work namin. However, I'm not sure if it's negative or positive because the interaction naman that how we interact with our kuyas or ates, hindi ganun ka-evident na we deliberately say na mas nakakalamang. Tama ba yun? Mas nakakaangat yung class of us working na ganito compared to, alam niyo, no, oh my God, I don't know how to express myself properly. Basta walang ganong level. Or if there is, while we perceive na magkaiba yung social class na ginagalawan namin, the actions doesn't necessarily translate to it. So, I'm not sure if I'm answering the question.
Yeah, so, actually, or yes. Sige, Riza, go.
So, baka hindi po ganon ka-feel yung disparity between social class because nag-mediate yung day-to-day interaction namin of us sharing food or we help them clean our area. Baka yun yung nag-override more than yung pag-highlight ng difference.
Okay, yeah. Actually, I really like that point. Dun sa isang study that we did, At makikita din natin to sa discussion next meeting. Dahil nga yung signals that people give off, hindi lang naman siya simple. So, ako tuloy yung naging hindi articulate. Okay, ulit. So, maraming mga signals na nai-emit yung mga tao. So, isa doon, pwedeng may kinalaman sa social class, pero may iba doon, posibleng may kinalaman sa feelings of warmth or feelings of closeness. No? And sometimes these things, pwedeng yung ibang signals nga, yung mas nagiging powerful in shaping your behavior. So kahit na conscious ka that there are social class differences, but there are also other things that you are also aware of during that time. At baka mas salient siya during the interaction. Halimbawa, that you have a close relationship and that this feeling of close relationship kind of influences the behavior more. No? But also, it tells us, I think, Riza, yung point na nakuha ko dun sa sinabi mo is that the interaction is not class salient. And I think yun din yata yung binabagit ni Fatima kanina. Parang hindi class salient yung interaction and therefore, kahit na magkaiba kayo ng social class at na-pick up mo yun, wala siyang masyadong naging effect dun sa kilos mo. So, because it's more kind of parang neutral territory na you're sharing the same kind of food. Pero there was a party, tas everyone's invited. No? So, dahil same food yan, etc. So, mas parang hindi siguro siya masyadong class salient. Kumpara sa yung nabanggit kanina ni Adi na parang kailangan mo magbayad ng something for a field trip. Yun, parang mas lumulutang yung class salience of the interaction. Okay.
Hello?
Sir?
Yes, sorry. Sino yung... Unahin ko muna si Fatima and then si Pao. Okay.
Sige po. Question lang po, sir. Na parang napaisip po ako kasi doon sa sample na Grab delivery, parang may isang experience ako, parang umuulan siya, parang nakita ko na naka-bike lang siya, tapos parang hindi siya naka-raincoat, parang naawa ko sa kanya. So, yung positive outcome na nangyari is binigyan ko siya ng tip. More tip. Tama ba, sir?
Okay. So, Fatima, pwede tandaan mo itong question na to, tapos i-raise natin siya next week.
Sige po. Okay po.
Kasi kapag so para hindi naman tayo masyado mabitin, no? Walang judgment about whether it was good or bad, but if the behavior was a result, halimbawa, of pity as an emotion, I want you to think about, do outcomes resulting from pity, are they good or bad? Or do they maintain or reduce inequality? So can you think about that also when you read the aside material next meeting? Kasi medyo related dun yung binanggit ni Fatima. So kasi kung i-analyze ko yung kinuwento ni Fatima, parang it was a behavior born out of a particular emotion which might be, I may be wrong, Fatima, but which might be pity. At itong emotion, so naawa tayo sa kanya. So yung stereotype content model, meron siyang sagot dun sa tanong na yun. Okay? So Fatima, don't forget because I might forget. So
Yes,
pakibring up na lang siya. Okay, sige. Pao?
Yes, hello Sir Don. Yung pong kaninang binabanggit ni Rai, yung regarding dun sa yung interaction niya with the kuyas. And nabanggit niyo rin po na baka hindi kasi salient yung social class dun sa interactions na yun. Could it be, baka sa atin, sa point of view natin, hindi siya salient, but dun sa point of view nila, as sila yung parang mas nakakababa ng social status, baka sa kanila nagiging salient yun. So, I'm thinking if it's possible na baka sa atin walang negative outcomes, pero baka sa kanila meron. Ayun po.
Okay. Thanks for bringing that up. So, ibig sabihin na baka yung psychological profiles natin nagde-differentiate how we perceive an event. So I think that's a very important point that posibleng hindi siya class salient sa atin, pero class salient siya sa iba. Na baka, for some people, all interactions, so nabanggit nga ni Adi sa chat, parang it was really a function of the purpose more than rank, no? Could be, pero yung sinasabi ni Pao, pwedeng, baka kahit na ang purpose niya ay mas functional, no? Pero sa ibang mga tao, mas aware sila palagi na class salient interaction siya. Yeah. Or at least kung hindi man class salient, yung social status salient. Kasi tandaan natin, I think ito yung kailangan natin laging tandaan kay Krauss. Sa teorya nila, yung social class nila ay conceptualized as social status. Diba? That you're higher or lower in rank than somebody else. Anchored usually on resources. Yeah. Did you want to say something?
Naisip ko lang po dun sa sinabi, was it Fatima po yung latest?
Si Pao?
Si Fatima ba yun?
Si Pao.
Ayun po. Naisip ko lang din po kasi parang if you are higher in class, it's possible yung sinabi niya. Kasi if you are higher in rank, especially kung office setting, parang naisip ko po parang mas may liberty tayo na maging mas comfortable dun sa interaction. Pero kung kunyari, sina ate o kuya, if lower yung kanilang ranking, parang mas magiging, they would watch out more dun sa kanilang attitude, dun sa kanilang interaction, dun sa ibang ranking, parang ganun po. So, baka mas, sa kanila, mas salient siya compared dun sa other workers. Yun lang po.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Actually, there's this excellent book called Facing Social Class, and it really it's where the chapter for next week comes from, and they talk about, there's a chapter, you were supposed to read that chapter also for next week, but I decided early on na isang reading na lang per week. But if you want a copy of that article also, I can share it with you. I think I can also share with you the copy of the book. Basta wag niyo lang sabihin na sa akin siya galing. Kasi precisely, Adi, yung sinasabi mo, the gateway contexts make it easier for some people who belong to a particular social class to operate there. So yung ganda ng word na parang we are more comfortable in that setting. Kasi yung rules of that setting favor yung mga behaviors, cognitions, etc., of a particular class, mga middle class. Yung mga middle class sensibilities, mas nare-reward siya doon, or it allows you to operate in that context freely compared to others. No? So indeed, pag mga gateway contexts like work, school, and health institutions, these are areas where hindi mo na siya masyado na-perceive na class salient context. Kasi para sa'yo, it's your world. No? Komportable ka dun. And then, you can operate as freely compared to others na it's more class salient for them. I don't know if that made sense. But yeah. Anything else you'd like to add?
Sir, follow up lang po dun sa sinabi niya, sir, question.
Yes, please.
So
Yeah.
parang dun sa previous question yon na yung kung positive o negative yung outcome ng interaction. So, possible po na for one side or for one party, positive yung or neutral yung interaction, pero dun sa other party, pwedeng negative.
Yun yung binanggit ni Pao kanina. And honestly, itong lahat ng mga sinasabi niyo right now, everything that you're sharing, these are all good empirical questions. Because I would think, based on what I've read so far, it seems to indicate na ganyan nga yung nangyayari. That depending on the psychological profile, depending on your social class, pwedeng mas class salient yung interactions tayo all the time. Di ba yun yung sinasabi nila Krauss, yung parang you're more vigilant to threat. So everything is easily cued as, class salient. In the same way, halimbawa siguro, I don't know if this is a good analogy, but in the same way as halimbawa, kung very, very yung experiences more related to gender, experiences more related to your sexual orientation, parang lagi kang cued na gendered yung mga bagay-bagay kasi karanasan mo siya. No? So parang yung experiences natin related to our social class allows us to view the world differently. So it's highly possible that there are some people who are more conscious about class than others. But that needs to be tested, I think. But that's what the research in other countries seem to hint at. Yun. Anything else you'd like to add? So, parang ang nakuha ko, if I'm going to try to summarize what you're saying so far, that it's possible, kasi itong class signaling, ang sinasabi nila, ano yan automatic. And sa social cognition, pag automatic, ang ibig lang naman nilang sabihin doon ay, it occurs at a level of awareness na hindi necessarily salient or conscious. Parang nangyayari siya at sobrang bilis niya kasi parang lagi siyang nangyayari. No? At sanay na tayo doon. So, hindi na siya effortful. Kaya siya automatic and accurate kasi it's a less effortful form of perception. Yan yung sinasabi sa social cognition. So parang sinasabi dito, if we buy into the theory, all interactions could be class salient. It's just that some people, some information might override class information. And then that there are contexts na mas class salient more than others. At yung third, posibleng there are people who are more conscious about class more than others. Okay? So, kung ganun, it could possibly explain why some interactions are neutral or positive. Do you agree? Kasi kahit na nagkaroon ng social class perception, either hindi yun yung importante at that moment, hindi mo siya na-perceive as a class salient interaction, and then there are other things, other information about the other that shaped your behavior. Anything else you'd like to add to that? So kung ganun, magkakaroon siya ng parang domino effect, right? Kasi kung itong social class, kasi ang mangyari, ito na-perceive mo yung signals, pero hindi siya necessarily nag-lead dito. Naging iba yung outcome. At kung ganun, mag-iiba rin yung output mo dito. Okay? Anything else you'd like to add to that? Or anything else you'd like to ask before I proceed? Sorry, Anime, did you want to say something?
Yes, I'm trying to form the question in my head kasi I think the confusion in my head is coming from these first three boxes are called signs of social class. But in reality, these may be signs of other things as well. For example, your physical appearance, the way you talk, your preferences can also be signs of your age, for example, or of your nationality. So I think dun pa lang kasi sa first bucket, I think pwede na kasing, yun nga sir, yung discussion natin, baka hindi kasi social class yung salient in my mind. So the effect would also not lead to sorting, stereotyping, and dehumanization. So in effect, yung prejudice towards me, for example, may not be because of my social class, but because of me being a woman, for example. So where does, I'm not sure where that fits in the model, or if it is even part of the discussion.
Actually, it is. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Kasi, and I'm not sure if sina Krauss, parang they don't talk about how information heavy a signal is. Kasi yung binabanggit mo nga Anime, yung body, yung voice, yung culture, or yung tatlong boxes, halimbawa, they can also signal charisma, For instance, yun din yung mga ginagamit nila, yung mga paralinguistic markers, etc. So, one signal is not necessarily exclusive to one type of perception. Tama ba ako? And is that something that you're...
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, sorry, did you want to add to that?
No, naman.
Yeah, okay. So, actually, you're right. So, what they're trying to do here is, so, I think maganda yung point na yun dahil it tells us that yung essentializing social class into particular markers, basically parang ganun yung nangyari. Dinidistill mo yung social class into particular cues that might lead to what confusion, or that might lead to other outcomes. Sorry. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, ang ginagawa ni Krauss is that they are reducing, very reductionist talaga yung approach. They're reducing social class into these signals. So yung dun sa bundle of sticks nila, isang stick dun, itong social class signals. At yung napili nila na cues are not exclusive to social class alone. I do agree with that, actually. And I don't know if they mentioned that enough. But, pero siguro hindi naman natin necessarily marerefute. Mamaya, pag pinuntahan natin yun, hindi natin necessarily marerefute na these particular signals that they indicate here, pwede talaga siya ma-perceive as a social class marker. No? Yeah. Pero I do agree na hindi lang sila social class markers exclusively. So baka nga, kaya siya magiging confusing kasi iba yung outcomes kung hindi social class yung model. Yep. Aditi, do you want to say something?
Actually po, yung in relation, if I may share,
Yes,
kasi yung
please.
part po dun sa aking reading memo, yung isa sa insights ko is yung applicability actually ng model to other forms of inequality, not just social class. Parang naisip ko po kasi, parang, for example, for this diagram, if you would apply, kunyari, gender inequality, parang applicable, pwede rin siyang i-apply dun sa gender inequality, yung class signals, and then nagkakaroon ng boundaries, ng sorting, and then nagkakaroon ng inequality maintenance. So parang naisip, yun po yung isang nilagay ko dun sa reading memo ko na parang applicable din siya to other forms of inequality and not just inequality due to social class or socio-economic status. Yun po.
Thanks for bringing that up, Adi, kasi yung ganung thinking expands yung mas intersectional approaches to social class. Kasi ibig sabihin, hindi lang natin kino-consider yung economic outcomes, but also outcomes in other domains. And we're actually incorporating other aspects of a human being. Kasi ito talaga mga model sila Krauss nga, mas reductionist pa siya. So, social class as signals leading to economic inequality. But indeed, that is an empirical question that could be explored further kung it can also be applied to other forms of inequality. I'm guessing yes. Pero yung mechanisms, yun yung exciting na explore. So thanks for raising that, Annie. Okay, so let me proceed. Sorry, my gosh, baka overtime na naman tayo. Okay, but I'd also like to note, and I think I saw this in one of the reading memos also, that the model assumes, this is crucial when we look at this model and the way they also describe it, the model assumes that the augmentation, itong nasa gitna, augmentation of group boundaries, siya yung mediator. Okay, so statistically, or kung gusto mo siyang gawa ng isang pag-aaral, ito yung mediator ng effect ng social class sa economic inequality. No? So, kung papansinin natin dito sa model, sadya na yung social class signaling, wala siyang arrow papunta dun sa dulo. sequential yung effect niya. Kasi ang implication niyan, kung mawala itong nasa gitna, itong augmentation of group boundaries, posible na hindi mag-lead to economic inequality maintenance yung social class signaling. I don't know, I hope that was clear. No? So, kaya, ano yung isang importanteng implication yan? Pag tinest mo siya, sequential din siya. Or kailangan mapakita mo yung evidence na social class signaling leads to augmentation of group boundaries and in turn, kaya ganun niya piniphrase and in turn leads to dehumanization, strategic sharing, justifying ideology. Okay? Kaya this is actually a very ambitious model. And pwede ka rin mapaisip if this is a valid model. Kasi pwedeng i-argue mo na baka hindi siya mag-work. Kasi wala pang definitive evidence, as far as I know, na nag-test nitong modelo na to na ganyan siya. So pwede na yung thesis. Yung pag-test nitong relationship na yan. Any questions so far? Sige, baka mamaya may ma-bring up kayo, okay? Okay pa ba kayo dyan? Sige, can I proceed?
Yes po.
Okay, thank you. So now, let's talk about, let's just start to break down the model further. No? So yung social class nga natin, specifically social class status, so yung rank natin, is revealed and perceived through social class signals. So dahil interaction siya, the signals have to be given off, and the signals also have to be received and perceived. Okay? So, are you all familiar with Aunt Julie? Nakita niyo na ba siya? No? Anong mga markers, indicators, or signal give away Aunt Julie's social class standing? Can you give me examples? Or you can choose to answer the second question, which is, ano ba yung most common social class signals that allow us to easily distinguish between members of the classes?
Sir, sa markers po siguro.
Yes.
Sa markers, indicators, and signal. First, Aunt Julie just drops the brand, kung mapapansin niyo. Dinadrop niya lang. Very comfortable sa kanya mag-drop ng brand ng people, mag-call ng, for example, school. Dinadrop niya lang din yung school niya so easily. So, these are status symbols.
Thank you. So, may mga particular... sorry. Yes, please.
Also, pearls po, siguro. Mga pearls niya.
Yeah. Parang yun yung ano niya, nabanggit din yun ni Riza. So, there are the pearls, there are the languages. Si Mika, sabi niya yung code switching, no? Yung comfort na din sa English. But tas yung code switching kasi na may certain tone, I guess, no, na ginagamit. Yung nabanggit nga ni Anna, yung way of talking or particular form of Taglish, no? Yeah, side glances. Okay. So yung may siyang mag-name drop din ng brands, pati ng school, no? So ang tanong dyan, itong mga nabanggit ninyo na social class signals, are they easily categorized doon sa signs of social class signals na binanggit nila Krauss?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, really? Mukha, no? Mukhang...
Yes, lahat naman. Yes.
Lahat naman. So, yeah, kung iti-test natin yung model, for instance, nila Krauss. So, in that regard, pwede natin masabi na intuitively, the markers make sense. So, there's the body, or yung titawag nila ng mga sartorial symbols, how you dress up, yung pearls, andyan siya. Andyan din yung voice, no? Choice of words, no? Yung tone of the voice, and then there's also yung sa culture. So mukhang swak, okay? Yeah, dropping their values, etc. So baka dyan din papasok yung awareness. Although yung binabanggit ni Riza na very aware siya of social issues, mahirap na siya i-generalize kasi there are people who are very privileged, who are kind of more blind maybe to particular issues, no? But what I just wanted to quickly bring up is that, of course, we know that Aunt Julie is a parody of a particular character. But there's, and I don't know if it's, kung hindi ko alam kung sadya siya, or it's just the way that the character comes across. But don't you think that the Aunt Julie character is a little bit of a social climber? Parang hindi siya authentic na upper class. I don't know if you get, if I'm making sense. Pero with the way that the character is portrayed, there are particular signals that kind of get to me and kind of make me judge Aunt Julie differently. Na parang hindi siya necessarily upper class. I don't know, do you get that? So may particular signals din siya na hindi necessarily nagbe-belong lang to one. I guess what I'm trying to drive at is, meron siyang mga signals na ini-emit na hindi necessarily exclusive to one social class status. And it kind of makes it more difficult to position where Aunt Julie is on the social class ladder. Okay, but in any case, no? So, what we're trying to drive at here is, so gusto lang nating i-test through, kaya feeling ko mabenta yan si Aunt Julie. Meron din yung isa, I think, Twitter influencer din siya, si Rain, yata yung pangalan niya, no? So, it just shows us that it's kind of easy to distinguish, no? The social class status based on particular markers. Okay, sige. So let's move on. So, is it easy to reveal and perceive social class signals? Madali nga ba siya? But I think more importantly, why or why not? What do you think?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Pao here.
Yeah.
Personally, for me, ewan ko, siguro, I admit na masyadong salient sa akin yung social class. So for me, madali siyang ma-perceive. Madali siyang ma-distinguish for me if, okay, ano to, a rich kid to, or ano lang to, middle class lang siya. Parang ganyan. So, hindi ko sure kung bakit eh. Actually, na ano ko na nga rin yan kay Rai nung sa class, sa forum discussion natin dun sa Uble. Na parang automatic talaga siya sa akin na every time I meet or encounter someone, kahit na stranger siya, ganyan. Yung itsura pa lang niya, yung damit pa lang niya, yung kung paano siya kumilos, parang madali siya for me na sabihin na okay, mayaman siya, ganyan. So, hindi ko masagot kung bakit siya naging madali for me. Maybe, paano ko ba siya sasagutin? Maybe because I am so aware of the things that I lack. yung kung anong wala sa akin, madali ko siyang ma-identify. So feeling ko kapag wala siya sa akin at meron yung isa, feeling ko ano siya, mas may kaya siya compared sa akin, ganyan. Tapos ganun din naman dun sa mga taong feeling ko mas mababa yung lower class sa akin, madali ko rin ma-perceive sa kanila by the way they talk, they wear their clothes, yung kung paano pa nga lang sila humawak ng gadgets nila, or makita ko kung ano yung mga suot nila. Parang yung mga markers na nabanggit, madali siya sa akin ma-identify. So, doon naman kay Aunt Julie, kanina I was thinking about dun sa nabanggit niyo about yung pagiging social climber. Actually, gusto kong itanong Sir Ton kung ano po ba yung nakita niyo sa kanya na parang medyo social climber yung dating. So, ayun po.
Okay, well, stereotype ko lang din naman. So, yung mga upper class individuals kasi, at least some of the really rich people I know, kasi nga, feeling ko, function din dahil parody siya, so kailangan siyang mag-exaggerate. But there are a lot of people who don't, hindi showy. Parang yung mga yung hindi mga nag-migrate to a different social class, parang there is no need to show off verbally or to be flamboyant about the social class. Parang iba yung markers nila. Pwedeng taste, pwedeng yung refinement of particular gestures, no? Yun. So feeling ko kaya tapos meron siyang minsan mga joke about I forget which skits yung ginagawa niya na parang yung dating sa akin parang ano siya, parang biglang yaman siya. Parang bago to para sa kanya. At least that is my impression of Anjuli. Pero siguro going back to the question, so kung let me rephrase, no? Halimbawa, si Pao, mas madali sa kanya to identify, no, class markers. Pero bakit kaya madali kay Pao, no? Or if we're going to reframe the question, why are markers consistent between classes? Why are they easily associated with particular markers?
Hi, sir.
Yeah, Riza.
Na po. Tinatype ko pa lang. Sobrang haba pa lang yung tinatype ko. For me, in a way, it's easy because lalo na pag in group, you sort of share the same characteristics and behaviors within people in your social class. However, what's interesting is pag cross-class na, it's a guessing game, but there's still some certain markers because like we discussed kanina, we still share space. We still interact with other classes even though it's fleeting. And even though those interactions are fleeting, it kind of marks already certain behaviors. Like you already know that this brand caters to this kind of people, and you see certain people na yun lang yung kinikater yun lang yung pumapasok sa store na yon, or certain purchasing power, yung mga ganong kinds of structure. So I guess you associate it already with a certain class.
Okay. Sige. Anything else you'd like to add? So yung importante dun sa binanggit ni Riza for me yung when you kind of interact with the same group at meron kayo more or less awareness of your social class, so it makes it easier to differentiate what you do compared to ano yung ginagawa ng ibang grupo. So yung in-group, out-group nga. So mas napaperceive na, okay, iba sila kumilo, so baka isang possible explanation dun sa kaibahan ay baka social class. No? At yun nga, may mga particular structures that kind of are built around these differences. Anything else you'd like to add? Ba't kaya may ganong consistency? Which makes things super easy talaga. Konyo din pala. Which makes it easy to detect signals. Yeah, Vinny.
Naalala ko lang po, in the discussion of social psych, undergrad ako. And of course, nung recently lang din, while I was reading on it, the idea of thin slices of behavior, of why is it easy for us to actually accurately judge other people, parang ganun. So related to that, I think it's because we have certain schemas or meron tayong mental template of what the upper class is, what the upper class evokes, parang ganun. So how do they behave? How do they think? And you have certain schemas on how do the lower class social class behaves and how do the middle social class behaves. Parang ganun po siguro. And for me, nagulat din ako nung sinabi niyo na parang social climber effect because ang una kong sagot actually sa question na kung si Anjuli ba ay new rich or old rich ay old rich na siya kasi yung schools yung siguro naging signal ko doon. So galing siya sa isang elite na school, so it might be an indication na upper social class siya even before. So hindi biglang bago for me. Parang ganun po.
Okay. So, kasi kung may ganun kayong consensus sa class, ibig sabihin yung signaling ko yung ako yung na-misperceive. Dahil hindi ko siya nakuha that way. Sorry. Anyway, Anime, did you want to say something? Ay, sorry. Sorry, Anime, before you proceed. Yung gusto ko rin i-point out sa sinabi ni Vivi, paano natin natutunan yung schema na yun? Diba? So, I guess that's also what I'm trying to drive at. Anyway, sige, go anime.
Naghang. I just wanted to point out then, kasi parang, di ba sinasabi natin na it's easy to reveal and perceive and judge. But I think it's just as easy to perceive and judge incorrectly. Kasi nga napakabilis nating ginudge yung tao, na-form na natin yung judgment natin about this person, and then mali pala. So naalala ko lang, I recently watched a TikTok video. Yung alam mo yung magduduet with a flight attendant in Cebu Pacific.
Yeah.
Tapos yung gumagawa is this really pogi guy na maputi and ang pogi niya, ganyan. So parang he's giving all the signals physically of someone in the upper class. And then when he started talking, parang it's also a parody, pero yung balubaluktot na English yung lumabas sa kanya dun sa duet niya. So it's just supposed to be funny, but I think it's one example na if we just judge based on one thing, how we judge wrongly din. Kasi ako naman, I think baliktad kay Pauline, ako very sensitive ako about being judged. Parang kapag sabihin pa lang na, mga millennial ganyan, mga babae ganyan, talagang tumataas talaga yung kilay ko hanggang heavens. Kasi parang, why are you judging anyone? Parang yung ganon. So I think then, just as we can quickly judge a person, we can also misjudge a person in the same speed.
Right. Thank you for that. Yung related yung binabanggit mo anime dun sa binanggit nga ni Villy kasi I think yun yung mahirap about social cognition is that, and I will get to my point about this question in a bit. The judgment is automatic, so quick, because there's so much information, and we have to make sense of the world. Otherwise, kung sa sobrang dami ng information, overwhelmed lang tayo, di ba? So we have to make sense of all these signals that are coming our way. So parang yung utak natin for some reason was trained to simplify the world, and therefore one way of simplifying is to judge and categorize, and so kaya yun. So parang ang bilis natin mag-judge kasi parang coping natin siya to make sense of the world, no? So I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to add. But, sorry, ang dami palang nangyayari sa chat. Ngayon ko lang nakita. Sorry, hindi ko siya nasusubaybayan. But thank you for your comments. Ngayon ko lang nakita. What do I like to point out here? No? So, pwede natin siyang i-relate doon sa pinag-uusapan natin last meeting. No? Na, it makes it easy to associate social classes. No? At bakit may mga particular markers na associated with a particular class. It relates nga to how immersive social class is as an environment. At itong environment na to, if you keep moving in that circle for a very long time, then your behaviors, attitudes, your feelings, how you think, how you speak, how you dress up, constantly shaped yan. Napaka-powerful na force nitong particular neighborhoods where you live, for instance. Diba? So imagine mo, if all your life, ang titirahan mong lugar, sobrang ingay. Imagine how that will shape how you behave. Kasi ko, lalakas talaga yung boses, kasi ingay everywhere, As opposed to, tingnan mo, dun sa kabilang neighborhood na may puno-puno pa, ang layo ng mga bahay sa isa't isa, it's so quiet. It's so much easy to be quote-unquote refined. Because the environment that where you grew up, it allows you, it shapes you, in that particular manner. So, ipalakihin mo yung environment na yun, yung school na saan ka nag-aaral, yung mga mall na pinupuntahan mo, yung mga leisure places mo. That is such an immersive environment. And it allows you to form a particular profile. And then it becomes so consistent kasi you move around in those contexts almost all your life. And probably, kung saan ka, yung mga environments kung saan ka naglalagi, nire-reinforce yung particular behaviors mo, particular values mo. And therefore, it becomes so much easier to associate a marker to that social class. Dahil nga dun sa ganitong delineation ng mga immersive environments. I don't know if that makes sense or if it clarifies things, but that was what I also wanted to drive at. So, bakit through thin slices, ang bilis. Kasi nga, early on, na naka-demarcate na siya, tapos nare-reinforce siya pa ulit-ulit. So it makes it easier for you to identify. Tapos yung isa din, socialization processes siya. May mga particular forces that kind of teach us the representations of the upper class and the lower class. So there's media, who kind of sometimes exaggerate these differences. Possibly in schools, So, religion, simbahan, blessed are those who are poor. And these representations may naka-attach na social class markers. Okay? Anything else you'd like to add to that before I proceed? Sige, okay pa ba kayo dyan? So we just have a few more questions and then we can call it a night for tonight. Okay? Sige. So I showed this to you last meeting already, and I guess I just really wanted to emphasize here the types of selves and the patterns of behavior. Because markers, social class signals or social class markers are also patterns of behavior. And patterns of behavior, nagiging consistent siya after many years of immersive training. Kaya yung pinapoint out ko na si Aunt Julie, may vibes siya that come across as not, ang weird no authentic, pero hindi necessarily upper class. Kasi may patterns of behavior siya that kind of are incongruent with my stereotype of upper class. And these patterns of behavior associated with the upper class, hindi siya necessarily madaling matutunan. Kasi posible na may patterns of behavior ka na natutunan mo from a different class, kaya middle class ka or lower middle, no? You have to unlearn some of those things for you to behave like an upper class. No? And that's not necessarily easy to do kasi nga you've been trained for a long time to behave in a particular way because of your social class. Okay? Which kind of leads me to this question. Is revealing one's social class difficult to conceal? At yung sumunod din doon, nabanggit dito, marami sa mga reading memos ninyo hinted at this question. No? Can you accurately signal a social class marker that may be incongruous with your objective social class? So this is actually where I'm coming from with the Aunt Julie observation. So maybe we can start with the first one, just very quickly, and you can type in the chat box if you like. Just, quick yes or no. Is it difficult to conceal a social class signal? What do you think?
Sir Riza.
Yeah.
Sir, I think it is, especially if you've been trained a certain way already. Like even if you want to blend as much as you can because you try to be ano yung tawag doon? Anyway, I'm at a loss for the word, but you try to be polite to people around you because try to be sensitive. One way or another, whether it's in your language, your vocabulary, or even as simple as your t-shirt minsan, your choice of clothes, it kind of says something pa rin. So, hindi kasi siya deliberate because it's something ingrained in you.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for that. No? Kaya minsan napapaisip ako dun sa, hindi ko alam kung naabutan nyo pa ba yung NST. Malamang naabutan nyo pa yung mga NSTP kasi mga baby pa kayo. But yung minsan may mga activities sa NSTP that you have to immerse in a community or you have to interact with a particular community who are not well off or who need kind of some assistance or empowerment. No? At kadalasan mataas yung disparity between the students and the community. And may mga ways of kind of, may mga reminders that when you interact with the community, you have to look or dress up in a particular way. But the question there is, can you conceal it kung sartorial yung pagbabago. Jeans ka or plain shirt, etc.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, si Jessa.
Yes, sir.
Si Jessa wala pa si Anime.
Sorry. So, ako po kasi, I consciously try to conceal my social class status because I work like in the development sectors, and there were a lot of times that I go to the community organization. So, I remember a particular incident nung Hayan, we went to distribute like emergency cash transfers to yun nga sa community. So nakapila sila. So I don't think ako lang, pero the whole team made it at a point na talagang nung nasa baba kami, we all speak Tagalog. Yun, sobrang hindi kami nagtataglish. And then another thing that we did is very conscious kami sa clothes. I mean, plain t-shirt lang, pants, and then rubber shoes lang. Yun lang, walang alahas. Tapos yung bag namin, simple lang. And then when we had lunch, we made sure, hindi ko alam kung it was also a point na parang, siguro lang kasi available, kumain lang kami sa isang simpleng karinderya, parang ganun po. So, I mean, and then this always happens, kahit na like it's an event, like a launching or stuff, I consciously try to dress simply lang as much as possible. And talagang Tagalog lang, which is hindi naman sobrang mahirap, but most of the time kasi I always speak in Taglish. Napansin ko rin siya pag dito siya sa office or normal encounters. Pero yung mga times na yun, I try to really talk ng straight na Tagalog. So I'm not sure if I was successful. Pero since yan nga, it was part of like the work, or yun nga, feeling ko kasi it was also part of the perception kasi we also don't want to appear so parang mataas from the people that we actually like work with. Yun po.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Jessa. Baka pwede natin mamaya we can explore that a bit further kasi ang ganda. I think hindi lang ikaw yata, Jessa, na ang nag-work din sa development sector, and it's such a good point, no? Kasi isa yan sa mga criticism sa humanitarian work, no? Yung humanitarian work ba that we do they actually reduce or do they even exacerbate inequality? So, ang ganda ng point na binanggit mo, Jessa, kasi pwede natin siyang gawing empirical question eh. Yun bang pag-conceal natin ang ating social class status, is it effectively perceived by particular people in a community? And because of that, mas maganda ba yung outcomes, no, na lumalabas dun sa interaction? So I wish we had more time and I wish we could do this face to face, but yeah, thanks for bringing that up kasi that's excellent. So ang Jessa, tama ba yung nakuha ko na may paraan para ma-conceal pero hindi madali?
More on parang it's more of a conscious process kasi kung na-realize, kasi parang sa office po, yung clothes ko, hindi naman ako nagpa-plain shirt. Parang yung kung ano yung taste ko, yun yung sinusuot ko. Pero when I go to the community, I make sure that the clothes I pack are yung mga simpleng clothes lang, not because mas comfortable sila in a way, but also because I don't wanna come off na masyado siyang sosyalera and stuff. Sometimes I don't even wear like shades pang kasi feeling ko ang OA na ang social makalakas makasosyal ng shades. So parang yun siguro, I think yun po yung iniiwasan ko, to appear like social. Kasi parang, di ba, these are the people that are in the community. Usually makikita mo sila naka-shorts lang and t-shirt, and that would be their best clothes na yun po. So as much as possible, tinatry ko rin po siyang ganun.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, Jessa. Si Anna May wanted to say something, and then let's go to the chat questions in a bit.
Yes, sir. It's related also to what we're talking about on concealment, because I was going to mention that I think it's easy. Well, this is not a dig at your experience. Nagkataon lang na magkasunod tayo magsalita. It's easy to feel that you're concealing, but sometimes hindi siya successful. Kasi diba, meron ding mga training programs on speech development. May mga alam akong mga tuturuan ka daw nila on how to have a better American accent, ganyan. But at the end of the day, halata, yung parang sabi nilang fake call center accent, parang iba pa rin siya. So parang related to dun sa chat din ni Nick na parang merong kang mapapansin na nuances na if hindi ka immersed dun sa social class na yun, hindi mo alam na ginagawa mo pala.
Yes, thanks for bringing that of anime. Kasi I was going to connect that to what you were saying to the next point. Yeah, but correct. So anime, kung babalikan na natin yung question, what you're trying to say is probably it's difficult to conceal and maybe we were not as successful, even if we think we're doing our best to conceal it.
Possibly, yes, sir.
Okay, sige. Thanks for that. And I guess, the reason why I'm trying to bring this up also is kasi we're trying to look at the applications of the model in interpersonal encounters, no? And, concealment, may mga models of concealment, pero particularly pagdating sa sexual orientation, yung concealment of something is very stressful, So, because you don't want to come across as you're very judgy or you don't want to come across as nagmamalaki ka or na yung binabanggit ni Riza na hindi mo pupunta ka sa isang lugar tas hindi mo alam kung nagigets mo yung language or yung linguistic parameters, no? Very stressful yung pag-conceal, and maybe yung concealment na yan nagko-contribute siya doon sa sorting at yung pag-iwas mo na lang sa cross-class encounters. Parang it makes it more comfortable to just not, just to be free with your social class status and not engage with other groups. Kasi nga pag nagko-conceal ka, baka hindi ka maging successful and it might lead to more negative outcomes. So hindi mo na lang siya gagawin. So baka that kind of concealment and that stress leading to concealment might be a possible route, to exacerbating social inequalities. Okay. And I think, sorry, Riza here is saying, when we try to mask social class, won't that create space within the individual to make sense of the group? Sorry, Riza, can you expound a bit on this?
Well, kasi sir, based on experience, uniforms and certain practices that are ingrained when you undergo like schooling, and they try to maintain simplicity. And yeah, umabot ako sa point na in my childhood we have certain uniform and we are only allowed to wear certain hair ties, red, blue, and black, and then we're not allowed to wear jewelry aside from a watch and a pearl earring. So ganong level of control para lang i-mask yung social disparity between students. And then napaisip ako, but I am still able to perceive kung sino sa amin yung really rich off and sino sa amin yung trying to blend in. So I was thinking, if that environment is already controlling at that, na sobrang control na, like parang iniisip ko, in my mind, I would still form certain schemas other than the uniforms or like fashion or like our fashion sense. I would still sort people, and then that would create a certain stereotype for me already that might lead me to perceive other people na ganon. I'm not sure if I'm making sense.
Okay.
But
yeah, actually, Riza, correct. Adi, correct me if I'm wrong, kung parang connected siya dun sa sinasabi ni Riza, dun sa chat ni Adi na, ano siya may at least 3 signals na binabanggit sina Kraus, di ba? At least 3 category. So may kita natin dun na ma-conceal mo man yung isa o mabago mo man yung isa, may other signals that can give your status away. So, ganun siya ka-komplikado. And I'm guessing, I may be wrong, but my sense is, there is some alignment to these social class signals. Yung mga categories na binabanggit nila Kraus, culture, verbal, markers, etc. Yung categories na yun, nag-align sila para mag-give off ng nag-align sila para mas madaling ma-reveal kung ano yung social class status mo. So pag may isa doon na you try to change, may ibang signals pa rin that will kind of give it away kung medyo incongruous yung ibang signals mo. Sorry, I hope that made sense. Okay, I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to add to this. Sorry, Cass, can you just give me maybe 6 more minutes? Let's try to give 6 more minutes in this discussion. I don't want to cut our conversation, sana, but sige, baka I'm taking too much of your time again. Okay, sige. So, siguro just to possibly wrap this conversation, yung isang tanong ko nga dun sa activity natin, are we doomed? No, in the sense that what I'm trying to get at here is social class might be difficult to conceal, and then therefore, if we buy into the model of Krauss, yung social class signaling leads to particular outcomes that eventually leads to maintenance of inequality. Okay? So, yung isang tanong dito sa number 6, medyo nasagot na natin to na I think tinanong din to sa reading memo na posibleng may iba pang consequences yung social class signaling na hindi limitado sa sorting, stereotyping, and awareness of unequal resources. Tandaan natin na yung isang dahilan ng pagbuo ng isang model is to make it easier to test the hypothesis. No? So that, itong buong modelo na ito yung hypothesis ni Krauss. But definitely, posible na may iba pang reactions na natitrigger yung social class signaling. So ang tanong ngayon dyan, is there a way to prevent the maintenance of economic inequality if signaling is so automatic and difficult to conceal? Does that make sense?
Sir Raisa.
Yeah, right. So maybe we can just end with this conversation para hindi naman tayo masyadong parang let's look forward, no? Ano yung pwede nating magawa basically kung ang automatic nung first step mo?
Sir, I don't think it's hopeless. I mean, it's already a given that it's automatic. So for me personally, if it's automatic and if it's something that you cannot control, then maybe look at the mediating factors. So in the model, it says that you can override certain situations so that your social class signaling won't be as prevalent as it will be. And it eventually will lead to like inequality. So maybe binalikan ko lang yung discussion on exuding warmth and maybe empathizing with people, yung ganong klase, so that even if there's a perception na magkaiba kayo ng class, it's not the salient point in that experience. If that makes sense. And hindi lasting yung inequality of some sort. Hindi ganon ka-drastic.
Okay. Thank you so much for bringing that point up, Raisa, kasi that's precisely, I think, what this model is trying to tell us. Na if we want to make particular changes, let's focus on the mediators. So dun ka sa gitna, dun sa augmentation of group boundaries ka mag-focus. No? So I don't know if it is possible, but there must be a way where, so what the first part of the model says is, an interaction will be class salient. So baka given yun na there are particular instances na malinaw yung differences ng upper class to lower class because of the signals they emit. So the next step dun would be, how do you now minimize yung group boundaries instead of augmenting it? Kasi baka yun yung key para makatulong sa pagbawas ng consequent behaviors ng economic inequality maintenance. Okay? So si Anna Main sinasabi niya, maybe we can reframe yung lower SEC signals into a positive light. Sure, oo. Or yung accent should be irrelevant. So imagine niyo, there's a lot of unlearning that we need to do. Kasi nga, yung particular social classes, may automatic reaction sila. So there has to be a way for us to stop the automaticity of the reactions, to make it slower or to make it a little bit more or mag-iba. yung reaction natin as opposed to what we do now or how we react at the moment. So maybe that's something that we can think about or explore more in the future in terms of like intervention. Kasi class after next week, mas papunta na tayo dun sa how do we disrupt inequality. And what I like about introducing this model, you don't have to buy into it. I don't buy into this wholesale, to be honest. Also because may mga leaps siyang ginagawa na parang feeling ko, totoo kayang this leads to this, leads to this. But it could be one way of addressing inequality. So we're trying to look at mechanisms. And this model gives us a mechanism of how we can possibly change or reduce economic inequality. So through the augmentation of the group boundaries. Okay. So, sorry, may question dito si Jenna Lynn. Where do mannerisms fit in the categories? Baka yung mannerisms, I don't know what you think, but maybe they fit dun sa body or dun sa voice, siguro, yeah. So yung sinasabi din ni Riza about reflecting on the stereotypes, yeah, oo. That would be so isa rin to sa ginagawa natin sa klase na to eh. Yung making ourselves more class conscious. But also, what I hope that this class is reminding us is that individuals can't do it alone. We cannot, di ba yun nga din yung binabanggit ni na Stephen sa article last week, the environment has to support the behaviors that we want. So the individual can change, we can reflect, at some point, but also the structures have to change for us. For the structures have to change in order to support, yung desired behavior natin of, unlearning certain stereotypes, etc., etc. So yeah. So at this point, are there any other questions that you'd like to raise?
Sir?
Yep.
Meron lang po talaga akong isang question na I'm interested in. Yung, yun po bang pag-perceive at pag-express ng, not expression, pero more of pag-perceive ng social class, kailan po kaya siya nag-i-start? Parang mula ba pagkabata? Mula pa sa pagkamulat? Yung po bang mga bata, nape-perceive na nila yung social class? Yung po bang mga toddlers? Yun po.
There is research about that in America, and I hope one of you can attempt to replicate that in the Philippines, or at least do something to that regard. Yung developmental, kasi yung tanong ni Ivy, parang developmental aspect. And I'm guessing, magandang point yun kasi you have to start them young, di ba? Parang ganun yung idea. May research, hindi ko alam exactly. I can look for the exact article. Kasi sinite ko yun sa thesis ko. So I can look for if you're interested, let me know. Send me an email. I can send you the article na sinasabi ng bata pa lang, nagiging conscious na sila. Parang sa playground pa lang, ang social, di ba? Sa America, may pa-playground. Playground to school, usually. Maaga nilang natututunan, actually, yung social class. Yeah. Very early on, we become conscious about these differences.
Thank you, sir. Parang naisip ko lang po kasi if we could find out, kunyari, kung gaano yun kaaga nag-i-start, pwede po siyang ma-factor in if we are going to think of interventions gamit itong model na to, kung paano, yun po.
Yeah, I completely agree. In fact, we can start nga with more basic research, like what social class signals do children perceive? Kasi dun mo makikita kung ano yung nagiging markers nila at iba ba yung markers ng mga bata sa mga adults. Kasi kung ano yung markers ng mga bata, then that becomes easier for you to kind of intervene at that level. Kasi when you're older, oh my God, there's so much unlearning to do. Ang dami mo nang natutunan. Ang hirap na niya. ang hirap nang i-detach yung isang signal sa isang reaction, di ba? Parang sobrang ingrained na sila. Yep, I agree with Adi. Correct. Anything else you'd like to ask at this point?
Sir,
Yeah, Vivi.
siguro yung the cultural aspect of the studies conducted by si Cross ba ito? Okay, yung kasi sir, parang first question ko, may mga hindi nagtutugma siguro or feeling ko sa akin lang din or sa iba din. For example, yung paralinguistic social patterns, code switching, the usage of Konyo language in the country, it is a signal for either either a lower or middle social class. Pero ang code switching kasi sa kanila sa Western studies nila, mas signal siya ng lower class. So I think it's important then to take into account the cultural settings when it comes to these things, sir. So basically my question is yun, so saan ba pumapasok yung culture na when it comes to this model?
Thank you for bringing that up. So, yan yung isang dahilan why I asked early on, ano ba yung madalas na markers ng social class in the Philippines? Kasi, if I'm not mistaken, wala pa akong na-encounter na ganun ka-basic na pag-aaral about social class in the Philippines. So, yung mga markers na ginagamit, very economic, di ba? Yung affordances or conveniences, presence of particular appliances, etc. Pero yung kailangan nakapunta ka sa bahay niya di ba? Pero yung interactions natin interpersonally, ano yung markers that are salient for us? No? Kasi magandang point, yung code switching nga, pwedeng mas marker siya sa atin ng particular social class than in the West. So in that regard, yung code switching, mas culturally relevant siya na marker sa Pilipinas. So, meron akong fantasy before, na parang gumawa ng isang inventory ng ano ba yung mga markers ng social class per status. And then kind of do tests about it. Whether they are indeed accurately perceived as social class markers. Hindi ko sinagot yung tanong mo, Billy, pero I think the point there really is yun nga, that we need to kind of have an inventory of markers. Yun. See, exciting talaga to. Kaya nga, sana next time pag nagkaroon tayo ng 380, which is enacting particular studies related to social class, you'd also be interested. Anyway, any other questions?
Sir, siguro related to that din kasi binabanggit ni Cross, and I'm interested in this, that the lower social classes usually mimic the upper social classes, but when we do it, for example, in the context of the country, how I understand it is that we mimic because we sort of mock it. Pero kasi ang idea nila, on reference to the readings, is that they want to strategically adjust their behavior to signal the social class to which they aspire. I think that's an interesting point from them. So do we consciously change our behavior, how we act, in order to project what we want to be? Or is it just for us to fit in? Parang ganun. So it's a stretch kasi for me.
Sorry, Vili, can you repeat what is the stretch again? I'm sorry.
Sir, I think the stretch for me is that lower social class strategically adjust their behavior to signal the social class that they aspire. Maybe it's not that they strategically adjust their behavior because they aspire that social class, but just because they just want to fit in that context, in that moment. Parang ganun.
Sige, baka we can think more about that question when we talk about social class transition. So meron tayo, yung social mobility article, yung what we learn, itong mga cultural markers, yan yung topic natin after your critical essay week. So can you kind of just hold that thought, Villy, and then let's explore that further pagdating natin sa social mobility or social class transitions topic.
Okay, sir.
Sige. Anything else that you'd like to add? Or ask? So, I hope that the conversation tonight sort of dalawang role. I hope it kind of clarified and expanded what the article is basically saying when we're trying to test its utility and validity. So, yung point the article puts a lot of premium in social class signaling. So it's a very reductionist view of social class. Pero kahit na reductionist siya dahil nga social class yung bida, social class signaling yung bida, meron siyang, isa siyang modelo, yung pinresent nila Krauss, on how social class augments group boundaries, and as a consequence, may mga behaviors tayo that tend to maintain economic inequality. And what we try to explore today is yung difficulty of conceiving or perceiving all these social class signals, and then possible routes, kung paano natin mababago yung economic inequality, kung crucial yung augmentation ng group boundaries dun sa modelo nila. Okay. Anything else you'd like to share before I let you go? Any other questions? I will comment na lang ulit more fully dun sa inyong reading memo kasi I just browsed through them in preparation for the class today. Okay? Anything else you'd like to add? Are we good? Sige. So, okay pa rin tayo magkita next. Thank you, Adi. Okay pa rin tayo magkita next week. Yung pangako ko na 1 oras, laging hindi naman nagiging 1 oras, pero just block 1.5 hours at least for our discussions. Okay? So next week, we'll still focus on cross-class encounters, pero ang i-focus natin yung link ng social class signaling at saka stereotypes. Okay? So you can just check the study guide for next meeting. And I'm so excited to discuss this topic with you. This is just sa mga favorite ko ng mga modules. Parang lahat favorite, linggo-linggo. Okay, sige. Thank you so much for your time. See you again next week. Bye everybody, good night. Thank you for participating. I enjoyed our discussion.
Bye, sir. Thank you po.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Bye po.
I'll end this na.